Morning, guys. Worked yesterday, another extra day. It was crazy. Work is crazy right now. So I got a couple of things to go over just really quick. I wanted to start with something kind of inspirational from the Heartfulness. I've had it on my phone a long time. It's called The Four Eternal Truths of Bliss and Ecstasy. So this is from Daji. He's the fourth president of the Heartfulness system. So number one is what we seek is seeking us. That gave me a lot of comfort. We don't think of God as something that is actually seeking us also, but it's seeking us out also. It wants to have a relationship with us. It's hard to even really comprehend, right? But it's true. It wants to know us on an individual level. That's beautiful. And then number two, what we seek outside is present inside. That's kind of an interesting concept that we can ponder and realize that basically everything's inside of us. I think it allows us to have a little more detachment. And then three, existence. All that we don't seek is there too, though in dormant form. So even though we're not even conscious of it, it's there. It's like the potential. It's amazing. Purpose. When we stop seeking, we are dead. So, I think this idea of eternal life is this, they talk about the center, the central sun, or the center area, and that's this field of God consciousness. It's eternal. It goes on forever, and so we're never dead if we're in that field. We're always we continue to live in that godly connection. Sorry about the slurping. I'm having some coffee. And then I'll just tell you a little experience I had. So I was off on Friday, and no, wait, what's today? Sunday? Yeah, I was off on Friday, and I was thinking about stuff a lot, and I was thinking about, I wanted to, I kind of prayed to God, can you show me what love is? Can you show me this love? I want to experience this love, okay? I don't know, something subtle like that. I think I thought it in my meditation or something. Well, I totally forgot about it, and I was sitting there eating breakfast, and I had the thought of Daji, when I had my experience I told you guys about. I had the thought of Daji and just his humility. I mean, the humility of these men is something that is just, it's hard to even comprehend. And when they have the total power of nature behind them, so it's like he's just, I don't know, it's just hard to explain, but it was what that love really is. That gentleness of it, it could just absolutely dominate you. It could absolutely come in and just take over everything. It has the power to do anything. It has the power to literally destroy worlds and create worlds. And Babaji talks about in his book in one of his books, that some of these yogis actually had the power to destroy worlds. They have so much power. They have so much access to that power, and that's what I realized with these guys. They're actually plugged directly into that. They have the tidal wave of love behind them. They could literally create or destroy worlds, but yet they're just humble servants to that love. And that's the highest level there is. I used to think in meditation when I was doing TM, and I thought, oh man, the highest level would be to just be this, enlightened being who's just, you just have power, and you could fly around, and you have these superpowers, and and you can transform people. You could just blast them with this light, and blast them with this consciousness, and just open them up, and it's so arrogant, right? I mean, it's just such an immature, arrogant level. The highest level is the most humblest level. That's the thing that it's just hard to comprehend. And I think Jesus was trying to show that too. He had access to that field, and he used, he performed some miracles. I think the miracles were important because it showed people that he had access to that level. But, it's just, even that is a grosser form of it, Anyway, so a couple of things to talk about, with all this election stuff going on. I had to talk some people off the edge yesterday. These coworkers I work with, oh my God, they're freaking out. And the big take with this, we got to look at the big picture. So it's kind of like we're peering over the fence, right? We've got a little more consciousness than the average person. We're a little more aware. we're seeing a little bit more of the big picture. This is the big picture I see. Okay. Election corruption, China collusion. China represents the New World Order. They're trying to come in. It's a Luciferian agenda. In other words, they want control. They want to dominate and control and consolidate power. That's what the Luciferians are all about, on an individual level and as a collective. The big takeaway is going to be for people is this level of corruption on the level of the election is just one angle of this, okay? But there's underneath that, there's whole nother layer of corruption, buried technology. So they had access to all of this high tech, anti-gravity, energy devices. I mean, on and on. They had access to all this stuff, and they used it for nefarious reasons and for means, and they didn't use it for humanity. They used it to control humanity, and we can see that now with, Google and YouTube and the censorship on Twitter, and the big tech that was supposed to give us access to knowledge and give us access to information is actually suppressing the information and suppressing the knowledge. Okay, we're seeing that in real time. And so the buried tech is the next level. So they're going to get woke up to this election corruption, the massiveness of it, the fraud that was involved, the players that were involved, the darkness is being exposed. That's what I was saying. This election wasn't about Trump. It's about the darkness being exposed. This is very vitally important that this happen right now. And the next layer after that is our intergalactic neighbors, our cousins, our relatives, whatever you want to call them, extraterrestrials. They're not of this earth, but they actually are. That's a lie too. They're not from somewhere else. They actually seeded this planet. They helped with our development. We are them. We're actually related to them. We are going to reestablish contact with them. So, I mean, people already are, okay? So this is coming next. This is the layers we're removing. So we're seeing corruption. We're seeing the darkness. We have to see the dark. People talk about you have to embrace the dark side of yourself. You have to the shadow work, they call it, all that stuff. It's kind of new agey, but it's kind of actually true also. With Sahaj Marg, you don't have to do that, because in Sahaj Marg, the transmission process automatically does that for you. So there's no intellectual work needed. That's why Sahaj Marg is so very advanced. But and then that leads to this connection to our galactic brotherhood, leads to a level of God consciousness on the collective level, because we'll start to understand more of what God really is, and how vast and wonderful God is, instead of having this lockdown version of what God is, this how religion has been manipulated and used to control people's consciousness, and to put God in a box basically, and say, God is this but isn't this, and God is judging you. And I had a conversation with someone yesterday. I mean, I had a lot of red pill moments yesterday with people I work with, and the people who are open, and I don't proselytize at all. I just talk to the people who are genuinely worried and scared, but they're on the side of truth. Okay, so I was telling, we were talking about God, and I was saying, people got the wrong concept of what God is. God is not about judgment, and it was just kind of blew their mind, right? They couldn't actually kind of grasp that. And I think that's amazing, right? I mean, that seems really basic and fundamental to us, but they couldn't grasp the concept that God wasn't about judgment. Anyway, so it's wake up time, right? We've hit the snooze button, and we've hit the snooze button some more, and the cold water in the face is coming. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're going to see cold water being thrown in the face. People have been given an opportunity to wake up. They've been given opportunity after opportunity to wake up, and they keep getting lulled back to sleep with it's just, like I've talked about a million times, the do have consume, the attachment to material things. They are going to get a wake up call. This is the wake up call. This is it right here. We're in the middle of the wake up call. And I just want to talk about, basically, when you're a state of sleep, you're a state of hypnotism, because basically, I was watching I don't watch the news, but just, you can't help but see it. It's on the TV all over the place at the hospital and stuff. And my family watched the Biden acceptance speech last night. I refused to watch it, but it's just such a production. It's so fake. It's such a psyops. It's such mind control. It's completely, I mean, when you look at it, once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. There's no going back to sleep in this thing, okay? We're not going back to sleep anymore. The wake up time has come, and the people who are awake will never go back to sleep. I'll never go back to sleep. I have like a resolve now. I never had it before, and resolve to speak the truth too. And I have no fear to speak truth to people anymore. I always kind of doubted myself, and now I feel like just completely resolved. It's a weird feeling. It's like I said, I've had a feeling of calmness, a feeling of detachment, but at the same time, a feeling like this is the fight that I came here for. And if I had to suit up, load up all my guns, strap them on, and go into battle right now, I could do it, and I would do it without anger, without fear, without any kind of without hate. I could just go out and do my duty, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a very, very purifying thing, and I feel very blessed to be at that place. And hopefully that won't change. I mean, I don't see that changing. I see my resolve actually. I mean, I've had some moments. I'm not going to say I've been, without my moments. This is why you have to protect your mind, and you have to turn off the TV. You have to get off of the social media. You have to, it's like I've said before. Punjaji, he would say, this guy I followed for a while. They do it's called Sudarshan Kriya, but it's no, I can't even think of what they're called. The art of living. And he would say, protect your mind at all costs. And this is what he's talking about, because what happens is, even if you're in a really solid state, these little hooks are always out there. They're always trying to hook your consciousness and pull it in. And they do it in, well, now it's not even subtle, okay? It's just full on assault, full on mind control, trauma-based mind control. It's just, they're not even hiding it anymore. It's just right in your face. And the people who have had the last, 3, 4 years, 5 years studying this stuff are seeing it for what it is. And there's certain people I follow who are just rock solid. They're just absolutely rock solid, and I've always gotten a good vibe from it. You feel when you read something or you see something and it strengthens your resolve, that's a good sign. That's a sign you're onto the right thing. So anyway, stay strong. Don't worry about anything. Focus on God. This is another thing I was telling these couple of nurses yesterday, because they're Christian, and I said the biggest thing we can do right now is focus on God. Focus on the center. Focus on godliness. And they couldn't even, it's like they couldn't grasp that. They couldn't understand that. I'm just so thankful for this process, this Sahaj Marg, because it really gives you a foundation that, people just don't have. Anyway, and then what I wanted to end with is, when we're in that state of centeredness, we become calm. We become very calm. It's kind of like a lake, a mountain lake, when it's very calm and tranquil, and you can see the reflection of the mountains so clearly that it's almost hard to tell which one's real and which one isn't. And when we become in a calm state like that, this natural, our soul energy, which is pure, it's perfect, it shines and reflects this godly energy. Okay, it is like a mirror reflecting the sun. There's no loss in brightness. It's the same, and it's like at whatever level we're at, it transmits to that level, and it helps to elevate that level, just like we're elevated with transmission from the master, from the president of the system. On a worldly level, that's why a living master is important, because the living master can transmit to the level you're at. Whereas a master on a more ethereal level, they can transmit to you also, but it's a different level. It's more subtle. They can work on the more subtle levels, and the physical master can work on the more material levels. And so they're all working on us, untying the knots, they say, and removing the samskaras, but they're doing it at different levels. And we ourselves can be transmitters at our level, and we can help remove the knots on just the people that we encounter on a daily basis. Even if we don't sit there and talk about spiritual stuff, just being in their presence, it helps to unravel their knots. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and like I say, don't worry about anything. I love you all, and God is, not only is God love, God loves us. God seeks us, and that gives me a lot of comfort knowing that. Blessings.